was something that you said, Logan, I want to kind of piggyback off of. Have you ever been in a situation, either one you can answer this, have you ever been in a situation where you were like, this person's just being too difficult, I don't want to work with you anymore?
Yep.
Yes? Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Please, let's talk about it. My name is Kevin McIntosh, and this is The Closing Table, where we talk to experts about their experience in real estate all across the country. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of The Closing Table. And with me today, we have a special episode. We have a team with us today. I want to introduce you to Logan Everett and Brett Miles. How you doing, fellas?
Doing great. Sun shining.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know, right? I know. Unusual. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Want to know a little bit about both of your backgrounds individually. Let's start with Logan. I see you graduated from Northwest High School, 2016.
Yep.
And then from what I've seen, you went straight into real estate ultimately. No real college experience. Why did you really decide to go straight into real estate from college, if that was the story?
Yeah, well, I went to college. I went to Central Michigan for about a year.
Okay.
Just because that's what all my teachers and everyone told me to do. So I thought it was a normal thing to do. Went there, realized I hated it, didn't really have any real goal in mind. You know, I went there for entrepreneurship because I didn't really want a boss. And then got into bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is, it's a one-man sport. So I put my, all that training on my shoulders and ended up transitioning into my other sales career, and then wasn't making the kind of money that I wanted to because of, I knew my worth, and I kind of just segued into real estate.
Okay. So you say you went to Central for just 1 year. What was your major there? If I missed that, what was your major?
Entrepreneurship.
Right. Okay. So you're kind of still in that same lane then, ultimately, right?
A little bit. Let's say a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go ahead and say I would agree with that. So let's get into you then, Brett. Central Michigan also studied cardiac rehabilitation.
Correct.
Can we talk about how we went from cardiac rehabilitation to real estate? Let's talk about that navigation.
When I was in college, I actually got my license for real estate, and that was mainly because of my mom. She's been in real estate for over 30 years, and when I got my license, I graduated. I came down here in Jackson, used my degree, worked in the hospital here. Wife and I moved to Hawaii, worked with a standalone cardiac rehabilitation center out there, loved it. Come back, and now all of a sudden, life comes at you fast, and now we have 3 kids, and, it's a lot easier to hang out with family when you can kind of pick your own schedule. You're not working on 9 to 5. So, that's a big factor for me, was being able to spend time with family. During the week, I, go pick up my daughter and go play basketball before 5 o'clock, which I wouldn't be able to do if I worked in the house.
Oh, nice. Family, man. Gotta appreciate prioritizing the family. So since we have 2 people here, partners, let's talk about teams. What does a successful real estate team consist of?
Communication, number 1. I think we do a pretty good job of communication. I'd say we lean on each other pretty good as far as, if we were to get into a predicament, we could put 2 minds together instead of, panicking and, trying to figure out a solution to a big issue, just on your own. So I'd say, mitigating bigger issues as a team is a significant stress reliever, and I think it's better for the clients as well. You get multiple problem solvers.
Okay.
Yeah, I would second that. We're very like-minded too, so, and everybody in the group is. We all have the same goals, which is great, and we can kind of bounce our ideas off each other, use each other, whether it be showing houses or hey, I'm listing this house. What are your thoughts? It's a lot easier because, starting in real estate, 8 years ago, I,
Mm-hmm.
going at it alone is not easy. And I think a lot of realtors around here would agree with me that if you're doing it alone and your ideas are your own, and you don't get to talk to other people about it, it's just, makes it a little tougher. So I think we have a
Right.
really good relationship, and our team is really great for each other, and we're great for our clients.
Okay. Okay. There was something that you said, Logan, I want to kind of piggyback off of. Have you ever been in a situation, either one you can answer this, have you ever been in a situation where you were like, this person's just being too difficult, I don't want to work with you anymore?
Yep.
Yes? Oh my God, I wasn't expecting that. Please, let's talk about it. I wasn't expecting that. Come on.
Yeah, we've had to fire a few people before. It's got to take a lot because kind of like what Brett said. Like I think we're both pretty down to earth. Like we're both people persons, and
All right.
easy to get along with. Like
So for
but
mine, it was a 2 year extravaganza. I literally just fired a guy just a couple weeks ago, and I showed him quite a few houses, and I got to know his process, and I knew that if he wasn't going to get an inspection done on a house after we had an accepted offer, he was not going to buy that house.
Right, right.
And so I just knew. And after 2 years, time's valuable for everybody.
Yep.
Better luck. Cut ties nice. Never had to be mean with anybody, but listen, buddy. Good luck. I can refer you over to somebody else, and good luck to them.
it's tough.
I was really expecting the answer to be no. That is crazy. And it's funny because both of you use the term fire. You're calling it firing your clients? Is that a common thing?
Yeah,
Okay, I mean, once in a blue moon, that's kind of like once, like they got to really not be worth it, because like it's usually like my client, and I've only had one out of I don't know how many, 4 or 5 years now, maybe one client for sure, and that's pretty recent. But it's got to be a client that like kind of keeps you up at night, like, hey, I
You
really
can't
don't.
even sleep. You just tossing and turning because it's
Yeah.
just like,
It's like, oh, I got to show them with them. Like, I don't even want to show up tomorrow. Like,
oh,
but
man.
you do, and then you're like, I'm just.
it doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
But it feels great once you do it, though.
Right.
Yeah, it's a stress.
All right. So why should someone purchase a home now? Why should now be the time for someone to go into purchase a home rather than waiting for home prices to fall or interest rates to drop? Why is now the time to buy or sell?
Well, I mean, usually when I get that question, the best way to answer that is, I think America is appreciating as a whole. Because America appreciates. You talk to anybody who bought a house 15 years ago, and you look at the prices now, and you look at any kind of historical graph chart, as far as price fluctuation goes, and there's a housing shortage right now. So like even if we do go into some sort of recession, like every recession is different, they perform differently, and I think houses are still going to be moving. And due to the housing shortage, the prices are going to go down a whole lot. The interest rates are here to stay, and people are getting more comfortable with them. And
correct.
I had a couple people tell me they're going to wait. Like 6 months ago, they were going to wait to buy a house, and then here we are 6 months later, and the prices haven't really changed very much, and the interest rates are pretty much they're a little bit lower than they were 6 months ago, but
they're lower than what the historical average. So
yeah, exactly.
Correct.
So I mean, when I bought a house 4 years ago, almost, I was right around the same interest rate. So I was like, I don't know, people fret about the interest rates, and it's just because it's not that 2% that we had a couple months back, which they, a lot of folks are realizing now more than ever, because once we hit about that July time frame, well, actually end of July, June, once the interest rates started doing that hiking up, that's when the market kind of went down, slowed real quick. People got worried, and now I think they're kind of getting used to it. They're like, well, actually, this isn't a bad interest rate, or this is normal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yep.
not going to get that 2%. Buy
Yep.
now and refinance later. So we talk.
Yep. I see, and that's one thing I was explaining to some friends at one point. I was like, "What's the point of waiting for interest rates to allegedly go down? It's like this could be the new normal now. It's like you expecting gas to go down to like 125 or 150. Like it's not gonna happen. Like this is the new bottom. This is the new thing. Like you know what I'm saying? I look at it as the same thing. Like try to get in where you fit in. I mean, obviously make sure it works for your budget, but if it does, try to hit the ground running because this could be the new bottom, and then it could just be going up from here.
Right.
That's my perspective.
Well, that's a great comparison too.
Yeah, if it's your dream home, buy it.
Yeah.
Exactly. As long as the house that you're looking for is available, make that move. That's how I see
100%.
it.
Don't rent. Don't rent because rent is ridiculous right now. Even in Jackson, Michigan.
If a landlord buys a duplex right now, they're still paying those interest rates. So guess what? You're paying the higher interest rate and the rent, so they can make some money.
Ooh, that's a great point.
The last thing I saw was they're up 20%. The rental market in Jackson, which is not very big.
Yep, just in Jackson. So I mean, Jackson's average income is below the average of Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. So take into consideration those how much those are.
When I listen to a lot of real estate news as of recently, I'm hearing the term housing market hangover. What is this? Do you know this? Can you explain this?
The housing market hangover. I think it's if they're referring to it's like when you give. That's the best way to explain it. When you give your kids something super amazing for Christmas, and then maybe their birthday's right around the corner, and maybe they don't get something so nice. So our housing market was great. We had high sale prices. We had this was for sellers, but really selling our house was amazing. Last summer, and then now it's kind of slowing down for some people. We're seeing some concessions happening on the buyer side, asking for seller concessions. We're seeing prices drop. I think that's kind of causing some ruffles with some buyers and sellers wondering if they're going to sell or buy. And I think kind of like we just touched on, if you want to sell, it's not a bad time to sell. There's a limited housing market. If you want to buy and your house is out there that you want, buy it. There's no point in waiting. But that hangover, they're kind of just like, wow, we just went through one of the craziest times probably in any of our lives.
Right.
Craziest housing market that anybody's ever seen.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I don't even know if I'd call it a hangover because I'd call this a normal market. Houses are moving pretty normal. Like we're seeing some houses go, get multiple offers with bidding wars, and we're seeing some houses sit and take under asking price. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if hangover would describe the Jackson County market, maybe in other areas, but
yeah, I think you're right. We're returning to normal, really. I mean, that little blip was something that not even just in real estate, in everything. Every aspect of our lives were completely different.
So you're starting to see a correction more in that real estate market.
Yeah. I mean, I think this winter was definitely the correction, and I think just in January, I'd say like toward the tail end of January is when things really started to pick right back up again with buyers. I mean, a lot of buyers.
So during the winter time, did it slow down at all, or did it pick up? Is that what you're saying during this winter time? Since I guess the fall has the number of inventory or the inquiries gone up? Is it what you're saying?
Yeah. I said fall, winter time is. I mean, it's your normal slowdown, but I mean, I feel like on top of that, it was also a little bit more of a slowdown than normal. Like I think that's why I think there was a little bit of a correction there. I think it was kind of like a 2-for-1 kind of thing. But now, I mean, as far as right now, like today, I mean, we're getting leads. I listed. I got 2 listings coming up this week. That window's still shot. Brett, you got one coming up, right?
Yeah, I got a listing. We just got the pictures today, but we had listed a house 3 weeks ago and had 28 showings immediately.
Yeah.
Within 2 days, 28 showings.
Woo.
So they're out there. The buyers are
okay. Yeah. When you put it that way, I was okay. It seemed like it's going pretty good.
Yeah.
At least in the Jackson market.
Yeah.
Well, when you advertise it, right? When you got a team advertising for your listings and everything, you just got to know what to do. Because you could have had the same house with a different realtor and get maybe 1 or 2 showings.
That's a great point. Now that's a great point right there. That makes the difference.
You're doing a pretty good job of marketing. I will say that. I'll tune in on that. We deserve it.
I'd turn you around and show you my desk, both of our desks, and how hard we were working, but I don't know if I'd be embarrassed or not.
Papers everywhere.
Our minds are rolling all day long.
It's all good. So speaking of that, since we're talking about how do you stay organized with all the things that you have going on, how do you stay organized, each one of you?
That's a great question.
Well, I mean, for me, it's technology. I got, instead of all the scratch notes and all the stuff I used to take, I have this little tablet thing where I write all my information down, and it's like a million scratch notes in one. I can never lose it. So I take that with me on all my, showings, closings, listing appointments. Sorry, I'm plugging my computer in. She's about to die. I tell you what, I had all kinds of stuff happen in this thing. But yeah, between that and my phone, gotta plug my phone in and keep everything plugged in that thing for the month. And technology obviously.
I don't really keep track of anything on paper anymore like I used to. Because of that, I feel a lot more organized. Like kind of what you said about technology.
There it is. That's the answer I would expect. That's what technology was made for, right? Convenience, make things easier, streamline.
Yeah, get rid of the Rolodex.
Right. So I need both of you to give me an example of a time where you went above and beyond for a client to either sell their home, get them in a home. What's an example of you going way beyond what an average real estate agent would do?
I got a great example.
Yeah, let's hear yours first. I got too many.
Mine was last year, and I still remember it because I really, we were slow. So like I kind of like really needed this one to go through, and so it was like an expensive house, so it was worth it. But long story short, I had the buyer for it, and the geothermal system was not working. So that's their source of, like I said, having propane or natural gas. In order to reinstall a geothermal system, it would be like anywhere from like $25,000 to $30,000 at the time. So we kind of my list agent and I put our heads together. I was like, listen, like the seller actually my buyer had already asked for like 10 different things, like expensive things, like a new wood burner, like a new AC unit. Not the AC unit. So anyway, he's already asked for all this stuff. The buyer's like, well, think about this. I'm like, listen, let's just get this thing closed. And so we paid. Seller paid a little bit, buyer paid a little bit, but the bulk of who paid for the new furnace, we paid for a new furnace, a new AC unit, and a propane tank we set on the property before closing. All in like a week's time to install and everything. I'm making that sound way easier than it was like
getting propane right now.
I know, man.
So so last year it was like, I want to say it was like this time of the year last year when everything was through, labor was through the roof, furnaces were through the roof, like everything was like backed up because of the shortages and everything. And so we had to pay like double the amount for everything. It was like $8,000 for a new furnace and air ducts, and then an AC unit because we wanted an AC unit. So
did you say $80,000?
Just eight.
Oh man, I was gonna be like, bro, you basically bought a garage for this dude.
I should have bought the house.
That's still a lot though. Wait, so that's not total. Was that total with everything? What was the total?
It was $8,000 for the furnace, and then it was like another like $5,000 for the AC unit. The seller coughed up a little bit. Buyer, I don't think the buyer did anything. I didn't lift a finger. So it was me, listing agent, and the seller all just ate it.
So we're about what, 13,000, just under 50, around 15,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and he wants to sell already. So
wow.
There you go.
Oh, and you said this was a year ago?
Not even, dude. He's been in the house like 9 months, 10 months. You know? So that's all right. I mean, we could maybe recoup a little bit, but yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that was great. I'll never forget that.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's one for the books. Brett, you got a story for us?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, there's been a couple times where I have obviously forked over some money for either a furnace or something vital to the house, components. But the ones that kind of stick out in my mind are the ones that really pulled me away from my family type of thing, where the very last one, actually, super sweet sellers. I mean, the best sellers. And they had a handyman come over, and I had told them, gave them some ideas on their house and what to do. And, their handyman really did a bad job at painting one of these walls, like a really bad job. And I just felt for them. They weren't from around here. They traveled a lot between Germany and Florida and up on the lake. And so, I just took it upon myself, went out, bought some paint, painted up their whole wall at 8 p.m. at night or whatever it was. I went over there, got that looking real nice for them and listed it, and then we sold it within 2 days over asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and I think we've all, as realtors, or at least on our team here, painted before. That's another thing.
Really?
Between the furnaces and painting, because when the FHA appraisal comes back and says there's a piece of chip paint over here, then all of a sudden we put our painter cap on and we go over there and paint the darn house and get it done.
I remember, one time an FHA appraiser flagged some chip filling paint. I knew my seller would flip a lid because he just installed a bunch of other stuff. So I threw my paint hat on. Didn't even tell my seller about it. Went over there, painted it. Called the appraiser back, said, "Come do your reinspection today."
Yeah.
It's like we're good to go.
Wow. So that's a common thing. You having to go in there and just do a little bit of work to spice things up a little bit, just to close the sale.
Just to close it, but also that's kind of not really. I think that's kind of like doing your job. Like, hey, don't there's no need to upset your client or anything like that if you could just mitigate the issue really quick.
Right. Like once we sign with the seller, like that, their house is now like our baby. We need to make sure that thing's ready to go. We take it upon ourselves to make sure that it's not just their house anymore; it's our house, and we're going to work together to sell it. They're going to need to do a little bit, and we're going to need to do a little bit, and we're going to meet together and get them some money.
Yeah. I guess it's not just about closing the sale. It's about building a good relationship at that point too. Because especially if they know that you went above and beyond and did something like painting their house to either help them sell it or help them get it. Like I would definitely trust in that person again, for whatever my real estate interest or needs were. So that's a great point. That's pretty solid right there. Well, I think that's pretty much all that I had from you two. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Is there anything you want to share with the audience or tell the people how they can get in contact with you two?
So you can always come down and see us. We're at 1 Jackson Square, downtown, 100 East Michigan Avenue, right downtown. That's why we love this office. We go and we meet clients down, have lunch, have a drink, have a coffee. Explore our downtown area. We really have a great relationship with all these businesses down here. We like to keep it that way. But and my number is 517-395-8253.
Nice.
You can reach me anytime.
517-775-1388. Come down and see us.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Logan Everett, Brett Miles joining the show today. I appreciate you for joining me on this episode. For all of our YouTube watchers, do me a favor. If you got this far in the episode, please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. And also, if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or any other podcast platforms, please do the same. Hit the like button, 5-star rating, and also subscribe so you can get caught up with our latest content. And let's leave you with this also before we get out of here. when you're looking for a real estate agent, does it matter how long they choose to stay with you? This is for our audience. Are there any qualities in a real estate agent? Let's just say any qualities in a real estate agent that make you not want to work with them anymore? Let's do that. Go off in the live comments right now. Go ahead and drop your comments. Other than that, thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.